Good morning guys, welcome to Operation Crypto. This is the crypto update today. We'll take a look at what's gone on over the course of the last few days and then what we could potentially expect in the coming days, weeks and hours. Price action over, the last 9 weeks really, it's heading into the 9th week now of a red weekly candle, has been bleak, and although Bitcoin has dumped quite significantly, it's the altcoins which have really suffered. And yesterday Ethereum dropped out. If you look at ETH BTC pairing, which, where is it there? It was pretty much trending up for quite a while, and then we've had a massive drop to the downside. With this, I think this is now the start of that rise of Bitcoin dominance. I mentioned it last month and I mentioned it recently, but we're looking for a strong Bitcoin. Whenever the markets are falling, BTC can fall at the same time, but you still would expect strength, and usually it starts to bring back in towards the momentum of cycles, and usually what a major bull run starts off with is a strong Bitcoin, and we're not there yet. We're still down at 46%. I'm expecting a rise up to around the 52s. Depending on what the market does and depends how long this cycle lasts for, we could see a rise north of 52% in the coming months. If we look at the weekly time frame, 52% is not much considering, but is a major area of support and resistance which will hit here and here, and there's a good chance that if we do push up, flip this to support, then we may come up and test this area around here, around 58, and depends what the market does though, doesn't it? Ever since its inception really, Bitcoin, we have had layer 1s coming on, we've had layer 0s, and I think that Bitcoin will pull back some ground, but I don't think it will pull back as much as it did back here. I don't think that's going to be achievable anymore. I think the likes of Polkadot and Ethereum, although we're looking quite horrific at the minute, I think they are here to stay, and especially ones like Solana and Avalanche added them to the mix, and I think we've got some really strong blockchains. So I think a strong Bitcoin will be reclaiming that 52% area. If that did happen, I think eventually then we might start to see some action in altcoins, but it's a long way off yet. We just need to keep our eyes on the market. So dropping back down to the hourly on Bitcoin, I'd say yesterday it was a very bearish day, wasn't it? To say it was that bearish, it was mainly due to Ethereum and pulling altcoins down with that rise of the Bitcoin dominance, but we come straight back up into a range for Bitcoin. We wicked right down to 27,900, straight back up to the equilibrium, which is that central trading point of a range, and then we have rejected again, and you could say that we've pretty much tapped that support region again. So if we just copy that and put that there, we once again hit that area and bounced up. So that is the area Bitcoin needs to stay above. It's actually reacting quite positive to that at the minute. If we do stay above that and don't get any closures, you can even go down to hourly. If we get any hourly closures below that level, I think you're going to really start to see some downward pressure on Bitcoin. But at the minute, it is sideways. It is in that accumulation band where people are happy to buy, people are happy to sell here to buy back down at these regions. It is what it is for now, and unfortunately, altcoins are still continuing to drop. For me personally, I've started to buy altcoins. I know that the fact that they can still go further down, I do not dispute that fact, but for me personally, I think long-term wise, there's some great opportunities out there, and if it did go low and I went into negative territory, it is what it is. That's the nature of investing. I've started to buy Polkadot. I started buying it around $10. And if we start coming down, maybe if we drop down to this region down at 728, I will consider a lot more buys down at that region. And then we've obviously got a big fat level down at around 450, which I've not got marked up on my chart. RSR, I've started to buy some more RSR at this region here, around 5 and a 4.7 I started to buy as well. So some of them I'm underwater, but like I say, it's the nature of the beast. Bitcoin, like I say, going back to that, is within that range now, and we really need to start targeting 29,600. Ethereum pretty much bounced off that level of support. I did put a chart out yesterday. I said, look, price action really needs to bounce here. Otherwise, we're going down to this region at around $1,400. So far, we've had a little reaction to that major support level. It is a clear support level from the past, major resistance level. Major support. Every time we hit that level 1, 2, 3, 4 times back in July of last year, we did get a reaction. This candle here was a reaction, and so far we've had a little reaction. Really need to see the price back above 2k. to start getting a little bit of a warm feeling back, but I think we're a long distance from warm fuzzy feelings. Take a look at another couple of things. So we have got a crypto fear and index, which is at 12, which I think that's due an update really. I think if we did update that compared to yesterday's fear, you'd expect us below 10 at some stage. So markets are still within that extreme fear, and it is what it is, isn't it? A couple of things also that I noticed, if we look back to BTC on the spot chart and we go to a weekly time frame, the RSI on a weekly time frame here has hit the same levels back as we did on the March 20, well I think it was around March 12th or early March anyway, when we were COVID-19 market crash, when pretty much all the world went into global lockdown. We had a major crash on Bitcoin. We are now back to those same levels, and if you look in the past, I mean, I've only got the days here back to 17. We've only been below that level once, and that was pretty much halfway through that bear cycle of 2018. The price hit highs in December 18. A year later, the RSI completely dropped down there. So I mean, if you're looking at a very similar scenario, and we do, where's my trend line? So if you look at this region here, that was the peak of November. So in reality, you could potentially look at a peak. Oh, where's November 20? It's around there. So let's call it November. That is an area where you could potentially look to see a bottom, really, in terms of RSI. If that thing did happen again, if a price came down to what it did last time, so the RSI was at the lowest point here. We did a full year to get down to that point. Just be wary about that potential could happen again, and we could come down to that point there. So that could be an area where we could potentially bottom if things did go how they did back in that 2017 bear market. So it's currently a point where the market should bounce. Whether it does or not is another point. But if the price did continue to drop, and we did see an entire year until the bottom of that RSI, then you're going to potentially look at down this region here. So let's see, we may start to just get a little bit of a chop city down to this range. RSI might be oversold, and then if you look at this region here, we did start to creep up, so that could be the next move waiting. So I'm expecting personally we get a little bit of a relief bounce personally. I think that we might push up towards 33k in the short term. Then I think it might go full blown bear. We get some major selling off again, back down towards November, and then from November onwards we do start to push up. That's a potential scenario that I do see happening, but it's all a game of possibilities, isn't it? But that's it for today. That's just my thoughts on the market and what could potentially happen. Things are looking bearish, and there's not much money in the market currently. If you're trading, probably the only thing to do is look at shorting. But if you're an investor, it is a good time to buy, in my opinion, for the long term. You're talking long term, 2 to 3 years. I think that buying assets at these prices could be really life changing at some stage. What I will do out through this week and this weekend, I'll cover some other assets. So we'll take a look at Polkadot, we'll take a look at VeChain, we'll take a look at reserve rights. Any assets you want me to cover, drop them in the comments below. And I will get to a specific video on them. But that's it for today. If you're new to this channel, please make sure that you are subscribed, hit that like button, and I'll catch you next time.